call yourself lazy too quickly. You say it without thinking deeply. You believe it without real evidence. But that label is misleading you, and it is costing you progress. You think laziness is your problem, but that is not fully true. You are not avoiding everything always. You act, just not consistently enough. That is the real issue here. Some days, you feel highly motivated. You start strong and focused quickly. You show up and take action. Then suddenly, you disappear again. That pattern repeats more than expected. This is not laziness at all. Lazy people rarely start anything meaningful. But you start again and again. You just don't continue long enough. That difference changes everything. Calling yourself lazy feels convenient. It simplifies a deeper problem inside. It removes responsibility from your patterns, but it also keeps you stuck because you misdiagnose the issue. Laziness sounds like a permanent identity, like something you cannot really change. So you stop trying to improve. You settle into that false belief, and progress quietly slows down. But inconsistency is very different. It is a behavioral pattern, not identity. It can be observed and corrected. It can be broken with awareness. It can be rebuilt with structure. So the real question is simple. Are you truly lazy or inconsistent? Because your answer changes everything. It determines your next actions. It defines your future direction. Your brain seeks comfort and relief. It avoids sustained effort over time. Not just effort, but repeated effort. Consistency feels harder than starting, so it quietly resists repetition. Starting feels exciting and rewarding. You get instant emotional satisfaction. But repeating actions feels boring fast. There is no immediate reward there, so you slowly disengage over time. This creates a dangerous cycle inside. Start strong, feel good, then disappear. Come back later with guilt and pressure. Start again, then disappear again. The loop continues without awareness. Over time, this damages your confidence. You stop trusting your own promises. You doubt your ability to follow through. Not because you can't, but patterns failed. That is where the real damage happens. You set goals, but don't sustain action. Progress becomes slow and inconsistent. Results never fully materialize over time. So frustration begins to grow quietly. You feel stuck despite your effort. Then you compare yourself to others, people who seem more disciplined daily. You assume they are just stronger, but often they're just consistent. That is the hidden difference. This leads to internal criticism quickly. You call yourself lazy again. You reinforce the wrong identity, and the cycle restarts immediately. Nothing truly changes over time. So the real problem continues silently. Not lack of ability or intelligence, not lack of potential or vision, but lack of sustained repetition. That is what holds you back. You don't need more motivation now. You need a simple, repeatable system. Something small you can sustain daily. Not something extreme or unrealistic. Something you cannot easily avoid. Lower the intensity, increase the consistency. Stop chasing perfect performance daily. Focus on showing up every time, even when energy feels very low, especially when motivation disappears. Define one non-negotiable daily action. Make it clear and very specific. Remove all unnecessary complexity. Make it easy to start immediately. Make skipping it feel uncomfortable. Track your consistency visually. See your streak grow over days. Let that become your motivation source. Not feelings, but visible progress. That changes your behavior long term. Stop saying I am lazy today. That identity is not accurate. Replace it with something more precise. Say, I am becoming consistent daily. Let that guide your actions forward. Identity is built through repetition, not through words or intention alone. Each action reinforces who you are. Each missed action weakens that identity. So choose your actions carefully. Consistency builds quiet confidence inside. You start trusting yourself again. You rely less on motivation spikes. You depend more on your system. That is where control begins. And once control is established, progress becomes predictable over time. Not dramatic, but steady and real. That is how transformation actually happens, not through bursts, but through consistency. You are never truly lazy. You are just repeating unstable patterns. And patterns can always be changed with awareness and intentional action. That is your real opportunity now. Stop attacking yourself unnecessarily. Start observing your behavior honestly. Find where the breaks are happening, then fix those points consistently. That is how growth actually begins. The difference is not talent or luck. It is consistency over long periods. Small actions repeated without interruption. That is what creates real results. That is what changes everything. So ask yourself one question today. Where am I being inconsistent daily? Not occasionally, but repeatedly. That is where your focus should go. That is where your change begins. Fix that one area consistently. Not perfectly, just consistently. And watch what begins to shift. Your identity, your results, your confidence. Everything starts aligning slowly. You were never truly lazy. You were just inconsistent for too long. Now you understand the difference clearly. Now you have control again. Now you can move forward differently. If inconsistency has been holding you back, then the next video is critical, because fixing one habit changes everything. Start there and rebuild your control. Watch the next video now.